To become a successful developer, maybe it is a web developer or related developers. So the front end is one of the most key feature. So if you want to become a front end developer or a full stack developer, and sometimes if you want to become a back end developer, the knowledge on the front end is uh, it's very essential and it's must. So uh, please gain as much as knowledge that you get from these sessions and uh, happy coding as well. So I'll share my screen. Please let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah, okay. Today we'll be focusing on the HTML file and we'll be covering most of the concepts in HTML. And tomorrow, uh, if today, if we don't complete most of the concepts, tomorrow we'll continue with the HTML and go with the advanced. And accordingly, we'll go with the further course as well, like CSS, JavaScript, and other things. So I'm using Visual Studio Code as my default editor for writing the code. So it is user friendly and you will have intelligent support as well. So I'll highly recommend you to use Visual Studio Code uh, because it is like a user friendly and it will help you to write code easily and efficiently. So currently I'm in a folder called HTML. I just opened my editor in the HTML folder. So I'll create a file called maybe suppose index.html. So the naming convention for HTML file is .html. So this would be the default naming convention, and whatever the code or the syntax that you write inside this file comes under this HTML. So I'll just create a new file. In this course, we'll go through some tips and tricks as well. So I'll just, this is one of the trick here. I'll just enter this exclamation mark. And if you click on the tab, you can see the default HTML raw code is being displayed in your browser. So this is one of the shortcut for this. So it's nothing but like entering the exclamation and clicking on the tab. So you'll get this. And I'll just rename maybe uh, HTML course. So this HTML stands for like hypertext markup language. For example, if you consider a human being, we have inner part like skeleton. On the top of that, we have like colorful uh, skin dress as well, and the motion like walking, dancing, eating. All these things is like emotion. So the skeleton part is similar to the HTML in web development, and the outer covering or the design that you give for the skeleton is nothing but the CSS and the dynamic approach. Like if you have a button and once you click on the button, something needs to happen. So all this code comes under JavaScript. So these are the main three uh, concepts in front end technology, like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So this React and Angular comes on the top of JavaScript. So these things are very essential. So I'll just go by line explaining what is the syntax here. So in the first line, you have this doc type HTML. This is nothing but it'll determine that we are going to write HTML5 in our file, and it will help the browser to render this HTML code in the browser. So this is nothing but to let browser know that we are writing HTML5 code, and every HTML will have a opening tag and a closing tag. Here we have like HTML opening tag, and the in the outer layer we have like a closing tag. And here we have like languages like English. We can give other different languages as well, but for a standard convention, we'll be using EN for English. And in this, we'll go through the structure of the skeleton. I mean the elements as well. So I'll just go like step by step. And here we have like head. This head element contains some meta information about your HTML page. Suppose here we have like meta is a tag name that determines that we are going to include some metadata is like a bundle package data which categorize something. So for example, here UTF-8 is like uh, we tell the HTML that we are going to use the universal script which is a standard version, and the second line of this meta is nothing but we are telling that uh, HTTP colon. These two lines are related to the mobile device and tab browser as well. Like if I remove this line, it will be different with the mobile device as well. And if I include this, it will be different. For example, I'll just show you by rendering here. So, and the body is the place where we'll write our actual content in our HTML file. I'll just write something. So I'll just save this. So I am currently using, you can render this HTML file in the browser by going to that particular folder and double clicking on that. So you can see this particular file is being rendered in the browser and you can see the data. And you can also use the other method, which I commonly follow. I'll be using a third-party extension like here. If I go to the extensions, I have the plugin name Live Server. So once I install this into our editor, we can see this here. Second. So you can see the plugin is being included in your taskbar. So once I click on this server, it will automatically render my HTML file in our browser. So this is one way. So the usage of live server would be beneficial because whenever you make any changes to your code, once you save this, automatically the file, the latest changes would be reflected in the browser. Otherwise, every time you need to refresh your page for each and every change that you make in the file. So it would be useful. Mm. So you can write your code in the body itself, but this is not the suggestible approach. Like you need to write your text in something called element inside an element like div, hashtag, or there are like many elements in HTML. So you need to write as per your requirement. You need to place your text in some of the elements. I'll just remove this. And each and every element will have a start tag and end tag. So I'll just write example. So this would be your start tag and this would be your end tag. So each and every element should follow this convention. There are some other elements like input and break, horizontal line. So those elements don't require this ending tag. They can be directly closed by providing the slash itself. I'll just let you know when we'll go through all those elements. So for right now, you please remember, like we'll have an element with start tag and end tag, and we have like many elements like h1. H1 is for heading, so I'll just go through headings and other elements as well. My first code, I'll save this. I'll go to browser. You can see our code is being rendered in the browser. So this is the basic structure of our HTML. Like we'll have this starting and closing tag of HTML, and inside this we'll be having head and body. This head section is mainly used for providing the metadata for our application, like the title. If you have any icons in the application, or if you uh, want to adjust your UI to both all the devices like mobile, browser. So this line indicates that it is compatible with mobile as well. So width equal to device width and initial scale is 1. This denotes that it is compatible with the mobile, and then it will come to tab, and then it will come to browser. So this thing, and in the body is the place where we'll write our all our code. So till now we have, if you have any doubts, you can stop me. Okay, let's go through the. So we have a p tag called paragraph tag. Paragraph tag is used for rendering some content. I'll just write lorem and I'll enter the tab. This is one of the shortcuts. So lorem text, you might know this. Like it will be like a dummy text that we'll be using in our context. So I'll type lorem and I'll enter the tab. So you can see some dummy text is being generated and rendered here. Yeah. So I'll save this and you can see the content is being displayed here. So this is nothing but the paragraph element. Paragraph element is mainly used for displaying your content or any description related stuff in your project. So this is uh, this one, and you also have I'll just for headings we'll be using like H1. We have like several heading types. We have H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. So we have six heading types. So we'll be using these headings as per our requirements. So if you have any title, so you'll be using like H1, maybe title heading. And if you have any less than that, like small title, and we also have H3. H3 is like medium title text. And we also have H4, like small, smaller. And we have H6. So H6 would be the smallest one. So I'll just save this. And once I go to the browser, you can see the H1 title is being rendered in the tag, and it is like a large in size. And similarly, when you come down like H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6, so these text will be rendered in the browser similarly. So based on your requirement, you will be using whatever the heading or text that you are going to use. So this is the usage of your heading text.
So
And
how come the H1 or H2 appear in a bold color? So is it like an inbuilt?
you were telling this black color.
Yeah,
Uh,
bold. Yes,
yeah, this
yes.
is like inbuilt. So inbuilt. So I'll just show you by
So we
inspecting.
don't need to add anything other than just if title this kind of thing needs to comes into play. If we need to develop, so just H tag, H1 tag, or H2 tag, or H3 tag is fine, right?
Yeah, yes. By default, these tags would be having some default styling. So I'll just show you by inspecting as well. So by right clicking your cursor, you'll be inspecting, or you can also press like function F12 or F12 in some laptops. So you can see this. This is nothing but your developer tools. So this is very much useful for as a developer. Here you can inspect all your elements and you can see the default size. For example, uh, I'll try to inspect this F1, H1. So once I click on this H1, you can see here, these are all the default styles that is being given to that particular element. You can see the display block, font size, font weight bold, margin inline. So this is the default styles that we given to that particular style. So if you go to maybe H4, you can see here, uh, the styling is being changed. So by the use of CSS, you can change the description and text as well, but by default you'll be having these things. Okay.
Okay. So what if as per the requirement, if you need to change that particular that H4 block, it says display margin block and inline start, inline and font weight, right? If you need to
Yeah.
add one more line, which says font style, for example.
Yeah, you can, in that case, so this is like the default styles that is given to that particular element. If you want to add some extra stylings to that particular element, you can add using inline styling or the CSS. So we will be going through all those changes as well, like
Oh, okay.
how to
Okay.
modify. So
Okay.
in the CSS section, we'll be going through that as well.
Okay.
So today and tomorrow, like we'll be mostly focusing on the elements and the structure of the HTML. Then afterwards, we'll be focusing on the CSS, like how we can modify the uh, elements by using the CSS and how we can design those things.
Okay.
So this way, like you can inspecting is very much required. If you want to design any of the page, you need to right click here and go to this inspect, or you can also click on the F12 button in your laptop. You will be given these developer tools. Here you will be having elements, console, source, network, performance, memory. So for HTML, you will be focusing on this elements section. And if you want to console any thing in your application by using JavaScript or Angular React, you can use this console. So we'll go through these things as well in the upcoming sessions as well. So for now, the element section is the HTML section that we are currently using.
Okay.
Yeah. So we also have anchor tag for redirecting to any of the particular link. If I click here, maybe so you can see here an anchor tag is being inserted into our HTML. So once you click on this, you will redirect to that particular page, which to which you will be giving the specific URL. So here I just gave the dummy URL like google.com. You can give a relative path or absolute path. So these paths as well will be focusing. So if you want to redirect, you will be using this anchor tag for navigation purpose. And so, these are all the main important tags, and we'll also go through some other tags like maybe. So you can write combine like I'll just add another p tag. So if you want to include as many file, I mean not as many elements as many, you can use rendering those things. You can use these tags, and you'll be having some formatting elements. Like I'll just remove this some content for better understanding. Just remove this. So for example, you can use B for bold text. And if I save this, you can see this the bold text is being rendered here. So for this, we'll be using uh, B tag, and along with that, if you use strong, so the strong and bold will be similar to each other, but B denotes it is like an extra importance, and strong is like bold letters. So So both are inline. So I'll just show you the inline as well. So you can see the P element is being rendered in one particular line, and the bold text and the strong text is being combined each other. So the block, we have two types of elements in HTML, like block level elements and inline elements. Inline elements is like it will be occupying whatever the space that is given to that element, and it'll allow other elements to take the extra space behind those things. So for example, I'll just add some dummy style here. So styling will focus in CSS, but for just understanding, I'll just use background color red. I'll save this. And if you see in the browser, so the block level elements take the entire width of the screen, and it will occupy the horizontal content. So each and every element will be given a specific height and width by HTML. So the block level elements will be entirely occupying those area, whether if you have limited of text or if you have more number of text. But if you come to this inline text, you can see it will be allocated only the height and width that is being occupied by that element. So after that, other element will wrap around it. So this is the difference between inline and HTML. I mean, sorry, inline and block level. So if I write something here, like maybe H1, so these all these heading tags as well are block level elements. So they they will be like the same line. I'll just use this. So you can see the H1 is taking the entire width and height here. So though the content is only the title up to here, it is occupying the entire content here. So this is the difference between block and inline text. So we have inline text and block elements as well. So we'll be going through those things. And we also have italic. If you want to make your text like italicized, we'll be using italic, I for italic. And just share this. You can see the text is being modified to italic. And we also have many other text like em. Em is also nothing but emphasized text. So these also would be like similar to italic, but there would be like default styling changes in the HTML. So you can see if you inspect, you can see some difference here. So the mainly this EM is used for screen readers. So in browser it would be similar, but if you use the same thing in the mobile device, so EM would be more attractive to the screen readers compared to the I. So EM will be using in mobile devices much rather than using the italic tag I. And along with that, we also have like small for denoting the small letters, small text. Yes, yes. You can see this is like extra small compared to this. So all these elements are like inline elements. So they are wrapping around each other. And we have like subscript, superscript as well. Like I'll just use the p tag maybe. So you can see if you want to make your text to collapse on the top, like this is superscriptic, then you will be using this tag called SUP. And if you want to make a subscript, then you'll be using like SUB. I'll just show you this thing as well. So you can see here, the subscript will be this way and the superscript will be displayed in this way. So this is some of the inline text. And we also have like quotation and citation elements like black quote, Q, address, cite. So I'll just give an example. I'll just remove all this, or I'll just comment it. So to comment your code in HTML, you'll be using open bracket and exclamation, hyphen hyphen, and hyphen hyphen and close bracket. So this way, you will be commenting your code which you want to, which you don't want to render in your file. So this way you can comment your code. So opening bracket, exclamation, hyphen hyphen, and hyphen hyphen, closing bracket. So I'll just use the so the Q tag denotes like a short quotation. If you want quotes between your text, like please quote my text. So if I save this, you can see here, like the particular text is being quoted. So this way you can use the Q tag for your quotations. And there are like other citation elements like abbreviation as well. So just use the P tag. I'll just use a holder abbreviation. So for this abbreviation, we'll be having a attribute called title, which denotes like if you hover on that particular element, whatever you want to see there, you can view like old. I save this. So once I hover on this, you can see the whole health is being displayed here. So in this way, you can use this abbreviation tag ABBR for displaying your abbreviations. So and we also have like address tag, site tag. I'll just show the address. You can use. So in HTML, if you want to break a line, you will be using BR tag. This BR tag is like a breakage of your line. So it will break your line. So I'll write some text here. And if I want to break this line, the BR is used. So I'll be showing in the browser as well how it is being displayed. So once I save this, you can see the line is being break from here to here and here to here. So this way you will be using the BR tag. So previously I have informed that there are few tags which is like self-closing tags. So the BR is similar to that. So here you don't have like a closing tag for BR. You will just write BR and you will provide the slash at the end of that, and you will close that. So in similarly, we'll be using the input and other few other text as well. So for input as well, we don't uh, generally define closing tag. We'll just close by providing a hyphen. So we'll be covering this input in next class, because in input we have like more concepts to cover. So this is the default text box which we'll be getting from this input. So in this input we have like so many other types as well. We'll be covering in depth in next class. So
So why does the address tag appears in an italic format in output? Those
yeah,
three.
so yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just try to hover like as I informed previously, like each and every tag would have a default styles which will be utilized by the browser. So if I hover on this address, you can see the styles like display block and font style as italic. So this is the default style that is being given to that particular element.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have also shown like how to comment your code. So, and coming to the anchor tags, like I'll just comment these things as well. I'll just try to give some. I'll just giving a dummy thing like Google. So there would be some scenarios like if you click on that particular link, it will be refreshed in the same page and you will get the data. And in some of the cases, you need to open that particular link in a different tab. So at the situations, I'll just show you. So for the beginning, if you click on this click me, the Google page is being rendered in this particular tab itself. So this is by default case. So if you want to render the particular href the destination URL in separate tab or somewhere else, so you can use the uh, target attribute. So target attribute is like uh, which defines that particular element to render in different things. So here we have like self blank parent on top. Self is like default thing. So if I use the self, it would be default. So it will be similar to the same thing that we used before. So, so this is the default thing. So if you give the thing as target, I mean blank, it will be opened in a new window or a tab. I'll just give blank. So if you click here, so this particular thing is being opened in a new tab. So this way you can uh, make your navigations to particular same page or different page. So similarly, you can you will be also having a few other things as well. So, so I'll just show you how to use. So this is nothing but uh, absolute URL. So we have like two types of URLs. So this is nothing but absolute URL. Absolute URL is like we are accessing a hosted site or some other link or some other URL. So if you want to access something in the folder itself, so for example, I'll just download any image here. The scenery image or something else. You can also inspect these particular images as well. And if you see here, the image has an URL. So if I copy this URL and if I place here in this href, so once I save this, if I go to my page, If I click on this, a particular image is being downloaded. So this way you can like include the things as well. So I'll just remove the target here. If you want to display your image, you need to use a tag called image tag. We'll be discussing that tag as well. So for downloading an image or for redirecting that particular image, so you can use target and you can use that href as well. And I'll just second. I'll just go to that particular image and copy that. So I'll place here. I'll just rename this image. So if I go to our editor, so we have an image.jpg. So the URLs that we have seen previously is like an absolute URLs. So relative URLs is like if you want to uh, control our local files or the files that are present in our current directory or other folders, then if you can access by using this dot slash, you can direct if you want to access. So for example here, this image and index are in the same folder, like HTML folder. So for accessing the image file, you can just give the image.jpg or you can just give like slash image.jpg, or you can also give like dot slash image.jpg. So in this way, you can access the file that is currently present in your current folder. So if you have like multiple folders like parent folder, child folder, so we'll be going through those things as well, like how we need to access those files. So for time being, just we'll be focusing this. So you can see the particular image is being rendered in a different page. So this is like relative URL. So we have the image for file here, or you can also have. I'll just create a new folder here. Images. So I'll move this image to that particular image folder. So this particular image file is in your images folder. So if you want to access that image file, you need to modify here. So if you save here, you won't get the image file here. For example, so you don't have image at that particular location. So you need to uh, access that by using dot slash. You will get the particular current directory. And if you click on this images slash, and inside images, you have like image.jpg. So in this way, you will be going through the child directory, like uh, dot slash will be giving you the current directory and the files that are present in your current directory, and you need to select any of the folder that you want to access. And after that, selecting your folder, if you give like slash, you can access all the files that is present in your child folder. And if you give like slash, if this image has another folder here in images folder, I'll just show you like new folder. So if you want to access these folder, then you can directly go here. Like if you give slash, you will be giving like two child. In images, you have like two child. One is image file and the other is like another folder. So if you want to access that folder, you need to click on that. So this slash gives you access to your child files or child folders. If you have like a parent, so for example, I have a folder called HTML. I'll just create a new folder here. For example, go to here. I'll create a new folder. VCSS. So currently I'm in HTML folder. If I want to go in the top level, I need to go to that CSS folder. You need to uh, follow this notation like dot slash will give you the parent folder. So here you can see if you type here dot slash, you will be given like HTML and CSS. So once you click this HTML, and inside HTML, you can go to other different folders by using this slash. If you want to go to the CSS, you'll be giving like dot slash. It will jump to the topper section of your folder. So you can go to the CSS, and inside CSS, you don't have nothing now. So that's why it is not. So the advantage of using Visual Studio Code is like it will automatically give you suggestions and intelligence support for your code. So you can directly uh, with minimal amount of support and time, you can easily write your code. That's why this is like a beginner friendly and easy for development. So this way you can access your anchor tag. And if you want to display an image in this particular file itself, I'll just show you tag called image. And in image, you will be having like two attributes like source and alt. Source is like if you want to give any of the path. So for example, I'll just open any of the image, like scenery, something else. I'll just open this. I'll try to inspect this. And if you go here, you'll be having the URL of that particular image. I'll come and paste here. So if I save this, if I go to our page, you can see the particular image is being rendered in our browser. So if you want to render any of the images in your particular file, you'll be using this image tag. And this same, you'll be having the same absolute path and relative path as well here. So if you want to access the images that is present in your current directory or in the parent or child directory, you can access those things as well. Like I'll just use image, and you can see this in images. I have like image.jpg. So I'll try to access this, and you can see this particular image is also being rendered here. So yeah, the default styles of this image would be different. So by using the CSS, we can reduce the height, width, and resolution of the image as well. So we'll be focusing these uh, design everything in the CSS sections. So I'll just remove it. So if you want to give any of the name to your image, you can give it. For example, I'll just remove some data here. So I'll make the image not to be rendered. So if I save this, so I think I don't, okay, I'll just remove this thing. Uh, for for change, I'll just remove something. So in the body, you can see the image is being rendered in the browser, but it is not being uh, rendered because we have given some dummy or wrong URL here. So I'll just, so in that case, if you want to display some name to your image, like this is like beautiful scenery, I'll just, so you can see here. So in sometimes in if your server don't have images, or if you want to render any of the text, if your image is absent, then you can use this alt attribute for giving a name to your particular image. So you can see here the beautiful scenario is being rendered here, but the image is not being displayed. So if I save this, the alt attribute won't function because this particular path has an image, and you can easily render this. So this is the usage of image tag as well. And in some of the cases, if you want to add any of the icons to your particular, for example, just a minute, you can see by default, you'll be having this globe symbol in your browser. So if you want to change the symbol to some other symbol, maybe like icon, Google icons, I'll just use different. I'll try to inspect these. So you can also download these and you can use the relative path as well. So for time being, I'm just inspecting and taking this absolute path and I'm using in the code. So here we can also add a tag called link. So by default, it will show us to add the style sheet. Style sheet is nothing but our CSS style sheet. We are not gonna use that one now. So I'll just remove this. I'll just use this icon. Icon denotes that we are going to use our icon and we are placing this metadata in our head. And in href, I'll give the path of that image. And you can also give the attribute like type. Type denotes like whether it is like image or any in images we have types like icons, PNG, SVG. So you can give the those types as well. So I'll save this and you can see here in the top section the icon is being changed to the uh, YouTube symbol. So this way you can change the icon as well. And the most important, like we have tables as well in HTML. So the table is denoted. I'll just remove this code. So the table tag is used to denote our HTML table. So inside table we'll be having tr. Tr is nothing but table row. Uh, each and every row will be having uh, columns. So for example, if you in the first row you will be having headings like maybe I'll just take th. Th is like table first row column heading, table heading. So I'll be giving like maybe something like company A. And the next row, in first row, I'm showing the headings, and the second row, I'm going to use the uh, TD. TD is nothing but TH is for heading of that particular column. So TD is like column element. It is not like an heading. It's just like a common element in a column. TD, the employee, employee one. I'll try to add another column as well, another row as well. So here, employee. I'll save this. And if you see here, a table is being generated here, and TH is nothing but table heading. So whatever items that you'll write here, it will be denoted as an heading here, table company ABC, and you'll be using the row elements like TD. So these should be like a columns. And if you add like multiple rows TR and multiple columns in that, so those things will be displayed here. And this way, I'll just make it quite designed by using the table. Just add. So here we have like TH and TD. Maybe. Try to add here. So all these stylings will be focusing, like this is nothing but inline styling here. So in this way, if you want to give styling to a table as well, you can use. I'm just showing for reference. Like in this way, you can add stylings for a table as well. So I just added like a border to that particular element. So we'll be focusing all these things in CSS section. So for today, we have covered like quite important elements and structure of HTML as well. So in the next class, we'll be focusing on some other block level elements like div, section elements, and some advanced like frames, video, audio, and other elements as well. So I hope you have got some understanding and knowledge on this particular files like HTML. So if, anyone have any questions on this?
Sir,
No.
I have one small doubt.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
the
please.
line number 5, can you go to the line number 5?
Yeah.
What is meant by that XUA compatible? Can you please?
Yeah. We'll be using these like a metadata in our particular HTML. So for example, uh, this particular line will suggest that
Mhm.
we have a content here like IE equal to edge. IE is nothing but
Yeah,
Internet
internet.
Explorer. Yeah, Internet Explorer. So this denotes that like I can tell like a web authors to choose the version of Internet Explorer, or this is not mandatory actually. So if you want to make the some metadata to be compatible only to the Internet Explorer, you can use this. I'll just try to remove this, and if I save this. So currently we are using this in Chrome browser. So this particular line won't affect anything here because this,
Oh,
I'll just go to that. Yeah, this tells this particular is compatible to the Internet Explorer. So each browser will be having some standard allocations. For example, how can I tell you? Like it will have like compatible tags for each and every browser. Like we have Firefox, Chrome,
yeah, it's
Safari.
browser specific.
Yeah.
If you want.
So
Okay,
if you
okay.
want to
Got it.
actually render this in your IE, so IE will be having some specifications, and some of the elements won't render properly in IE. So by including this line, it will tell that we are going to use like HTML5, and it should be compatible in that particular Internet Explorer.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
got it. Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And if I want to use Visual Studio Code, can you just overview like means how to start using that? Means projects kind of thing. This is the first time I'm using Visual Studio Code.
Yeah, yes. So you can go to like
Yeah, I
just
downloaded it. I
okay.
downloaded it. So in that
So
Visual Studio Code means
yeah, you will be having your file edit and other sections. You can go to this file section, and here you can directly open the file by using this open file. Or if you want to open any of the folder, you can use this open folder. And if you click on this, it will show you like which folder to pick from your current directory or different folders. So
same
you can
as
select the,
IntelliJ and Eclipse. Right?
yeah, same,
Okay,
yes. And you can
okay, sir, I'll
directly
go.
take that into your editor.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I will go
Yeah,
through. If any doubt, then I'll get back to you.
yeah.
Thank
Sure.
you.
Any other people have any doubts here? I'm clear. Okay. Okay, thank you. Like we can connect tomorrow. If you have any doubts, we can discuss those things as well in tomorrow class, and we'll focus on the upcoming sessions. Yeah, thank you for your time. Bye.
Thank you.
Recording session ఉందా?